Well, it's the 1st of April, and that means that today is opening day for Major League Baseball.
Dr. Fauci, when you're ready, it's your pitch.
Just a bit outside.
Ah, yes, a quick stroll down memory lane. Last baseball season, when we weren't allowed to have any spectators in the stadiums except, in an amazing, Dr. Fauci and his entourage got to go to a game, and we see that he could pitch as about as well he has called the entire coronavirus pandemic. Just a bit outside and completely off the planet when it comes to reality and what we should have done. That said, April 1st, of course, is April Fool's Day. What a great day to celebrate Lib Loon Day.
How dare you!
Oh, Greta, give it a chance. You might actually smile. Now, what exactly are the origins of April 1st? Now, you remember as kids in grade school, the little pranks that we would pull and say, April Fools. Most historians believe that April Fool's Day can be traced back to the 1500s in France when they switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. Now, under the Julian calendar, the first of the year was celebrated at the end of March, the 1st of April. When they switched to the Gregorian calendar, January 1st became the new year. And as time went on and people who lived in rural France had not yet caught up with the change in the times and that we're on a new calendar and, the new year actually begins in January, not April. Well, these people were still celebrating in April and they became the butt of jokes. They were referred to as April Fools. Well, now enter the Democrat Party. The party which at one time claimed to be the party of the working man, which has now abandoned the working man for every type of carnival freak show escapee which demands their rights and demands equality. Can I just say something about that whole equality issue for just a moment? It's pretty hard to take, shall we say, a group that might make up less than 0.5% of the entire population, and now we have to treat them in such a way, and this is Academy Award type thinking, they have to have equal representation now in all productions moving forward, or your movie can't be considered for an Academy Award. Okay. So an individual who makes up less than 1% of the population that most people have never even seen now has to be in every production moving forward. Is that equal? But I digress, because this is supposed to be a little bit on the lighthearted side, and after all, we're doing what comes so easy to do, which is make fun of liberals because they give us so much to work with. These people are outright fools, and they demonstrate it every day in their so-called wokeness. Now, I believe we ought to be awake, but I can be awake without being woke. Awake means I see what's actually happening, and we're not moving forward. We are digressing. We are becoming an idiocracy, and it's really quite sad to behold. We're calling less more, and now we're seeing our very culture canceled. So, what is it that Lib Loons on this day we should point out the absurdity of them being fools?
I've thought this for a while, but I've never said it on here, so here we go. I don't think that racists should be allowed to use tanning salons. If you don't like melanin, then you don't get any!
If you don't believe that there is white privilege, please don't teach. If you don't believe that Black Lives Matter, please don't teach. If you don't believe in systemic racism and how it negatively impacts our students of color and don't want to help dismantle those systems, please don't teach.
Fail to account for white supremacy and veganism, you get white veganism.
White veganism focuses solely on animal liberation while ignoring the context of colonization and imperialism and how all of this impacts all living beings and the planet.
Not all white people vegans are white vegans.
Our veganism must be intersectional, accessible, anti-racist, anti-imperialist, and decolonized.
They want to say, what about the surge? Well, first of all, just gut check, stop. Anyone who's using the term surge around you consciously is trying to invoke a militaristic frame. And that's a problem because this is not a surge. These are children and they are not insurgents and we are not being invaded, which, by the way, is a white supremacist idea, philosophy, the idea that if an other is coming in the population, that this is like an invasion of who we are.
Hi, my name is Bunny, and I use bun pronouns. Bun pronouns are a form of neopronoun. Outside of he and she pronouns, there's a whole world of neopronouns that can be used. In my case, mine are based off of bunny. So instead of she, her, hers, herself, it's bun, bun, buns, oneself. So how do we use it? Bun went to the store. Bun didn't like what Bun saw. Bun thinks of Bunself as a wonderful, caring, giving person. Now, fun thing for me is that my name Bunny, my nickname is Bun. Bun pronouns can also be name self pronouns where you use the name as the pronouns. So, Bun went to the store is not only a neopronoun, but could also be referring to me by my nickname. Thank you!
The obesity epidemic isn't real and it shouldn't be an anti-capitalist talking point. When someone unironically references the obesity epidemic or even uses the word obesity, it tells me they really don't know what they're talking about when it comes to fatness. This use of the word obesity stems directly from the BMI, which was created by a eugenicist with no medical training who based the scale only on white bodies and cow math. Fat phobia is a direct result of anti-blackness, and it has deadly consequences for many groups of indigenous folks and other people of color, as well as fat folks. When you make the obesity epidemic a real symptom of capitalism, you are not only ostracizing fat people from anti-capitalist thinking, but also actively ignoring that the health outcomes related to obesity are more accurately attributed to food deserts and fatphobic discrimination in healthcare. The obesity epidemic was created by Western medicine to avoid addressing the actual causes of health inequity, which is what we as anti-capitalists should be doing.
I am a white transmasculine femme non-binary, temporarily mostly able-bodied, neurodivergent, obsessive-compulsive, chronically ill, culturally Jewish, Unitarian Universalist, non-monogamous, demi-low romantic, gray demi-bisexual, survivor of acute and complex trauma, millennial, and cat parent in mental health recovery.
White privilege. Think about it. Whose flesh tone is this? I have brown band-aids in my classroom. I had to special order them. They're twice as much as these, and they're hard to find, and they're frequently out of stock. But when I hand a brown child a white band-aid, I am literally adding insult to injury, and I refuse to do that in my classroom.
So it's not enough to be a vegan, you gotta be the right kind of vegan, because if you're a white kind of vegan, you're a vegan racist. Wait, what? And I'm sorry, I'm not going to be lectured to about obesity from a female named Orca. It's just not going to happen. And really, brown Band-Aids, they do make Band-Aids and cartoon themes. There's SpongeBob, which they're blue and yellow, and there are superhero ones. Most teachers just buy kid-oriented Band-Aids for their classrooms. But everything has got to be a statement. And do you hear this? Most of these people are quite obviously the products of, number one, public education. Woohoo! And they are the products of so-called higher learning. And while these products of higher learning are all offended and upset how we're treating Asian Americans in some of our literature and some of the old movies from the 1940s and 50s, and they're just, and we're masquerading this nonsense as they're highly educated, because after all, obesity is a creation of capitalists? No. If obesity was a creation of capitalists, then capitalists would want you obese because they would want you eating, because that means you're buying, spending money. This is what people are going to college for, coming out with degrees, can't find any work, can't find any employment. They've racked up $100,000 in student loans. The colleges have just freely taken this money and ripped them off. And now they can't get any return on investment, so we should forgive their loans and we should give them a guaranteed basic income so they can teach us the pronouns of bun. Now, not only are things in our culture being canceled, many of them are being redefined. In particular, words and applications and definitions. There's this term that gets floated called white privilege, that everything that you have, if you're Caucasian, you have it based on white privilege. But apparently, under the Biden-Harris administration, this is all being radically changed, especially with yet another multi-trillion-dollar stimulus package being put together, which is all designed now to introduce the concept of basic income. Everybody gonna get money. Why? Well, white privilege. See, you, the ones that go to work, pay taxes, you are going to get the privilege now of paying for Lib Loon lunacy. Isn't that special? And just think, if we complain about it, not only will we be deplatformed, censored, and kicked off social media, but millionaire Hollywood elitists will lecture us endlessly on how we are racist for not wanting to pay for everything and everybody, especially those that aren't from here. After all, teachers' unions in California are refusing to return to the classroom to teach California's kids, but they're all volunteering to go down to Texas and educate kids in person in migrant detention centers. Okay. Then again, judging by some of the teachers we saw in this collage, maybe, just maybe, when Mexico and some of these other nations figure out just what absolute loontards these so-called teachers are, and they understand that their children will become functional morons in life, they may just halt this insurgency on their own, saying, "Don't go there, you'll become stupid." Hey, that's it for this rant. You have yourself a wonderful first day of spring. It snowed here, but it's okay, because it's going to be 70 tomorrow. Yeah, go figure. Anyway, smack the bell, click the word all to get notification of my rants, subscribe to the channel. It drives YouTube nuts that despite all of their suppression of this channel, their killing of our algorithm, we continue to add members. Please spread the word.